Hi, welcome back to the channel. I'm Nadia. I'm a pelvic floor and lymphedema physical therapist, and today's topic is why does the pelvic floor get weak? You'll actually be surprised at some of the answers. Pelvic floor dysfunction can happen in anybody, any gender, any age, from child to adult. The number one thing that we might not even realize, it's our diet and toileting habits. If we have a diet that is not very conducive to easy passing of stools, for example, if you have low fiber intake and a diet that is highly processed, you can become incontinent or have a great deal of difficulty passing stool. The constant straining and pushing will lead to pelvic floor weakening because you're constantly stretching those muscles and putting them under significant strain every time you try to have a bowel movement. The other part of toileting is we tend to rush. Toileting is supposed to be a very relaxing event, and this is either urination or having a bowel movement. When we go to the bathroom, it should actually be a very easy process, because that is the point at which the muscles are relaxing and opening to allow things out. So if you find that you go to the bathroom and you're pushing and you're straining, that is causing significant stress on your pelvic floor muscles and weakening them. The other cause of pelvic floor dysfunction is poor body mechanics. The pelvic floor is part of your core, and if you have poor posture, if you have poor lifting technique, this is again all genders. Poor lifting technique and poor breathing patterns can significantly contribute to strain and weakness in the pelvic floor muscles. The other thing that could be related back to diet and lifestyle is the amount of weight that you're carrying. The heavier you are, the more overweight you are, the more strain that you put on your support structures. And like I said, your pelvic floor is part of your core and part of your support. And so if you're a little bit heavier and you're carrying excessive weight, that also can strain the pelvic floor muscles and weaken them. So this is probably what people think of the number one thing that causes pelvic floor dysfunction, and that's birthing. So giving birth is like running a marathon that you haven't really trained for, because your body goes through significant changes. As a matter of fact, for the 9 months that you're pregnant, your body goes through significant changes that changes muscle tone, how your bone structures move and are aligned. And then birthing itself, your body, your pelvic floor muscles expand very quickly over a short period of time to allow the birth of a newborn. A lot of times, and this is usually where you get significant amount of pelvic floor injury, is from the process of birthing. And this is not just vaginal birthing. You can actually get pelvic floor weakness from cesarean sections as well. Our pelvic floor is very much wired into our nervous system. It is a place of significant survival. And so if you have lifestyle that is extremely busy, that is very stressful, or if you have challenges with emotional regulation, that can physically show up in your pelvic floor function. It can cause tightening of your pelvic floor, it can cause overactivity in your pelvic floor, and over time it can cause weakness, because usually tight muscles are weak muscles. Another factor that can cause weakness in the pelvic floor is disease and injury. It doesn't necessarily have to be a direct insult to the pelvic floor muscles. A lot of back injuries actually cause pelvic floor dysfunction because the nerves that activate the pelvic floor muscles start in your lower back and into your sacrum. Injuries to the back, to the abdominal area, hernias, you might have a muscle separation called a diastasis, and this can happen in both males and females. And any other car accident, anything that might cause an injury to your core, can cause muscle weakness and dysfunction. And the last one, which you probably thought would have been the first, are aging and hormonal changes as we grow older. And I'm referring mainly to females' hormonal changes as they grow older, because as we get to menopause, the amount of hormones, the estrogen that is naturally supplied to the pelvic floor tissue and to the genitals reduces. And this can lead to decreased activity and atrophy in the pelvic floor muscles. Men also, with aging, and you know what? It's not so much aging itself, but decreased activity as we get older. So as we become less active, we lose more muscle in general, and that can affect the pelvic floor as well as all the other muscles in our body. So to recap, some of the ways that our pelvic floor muscles get weak are because of our diet and toileting habits, our body mechanics, whether we are sitting poorly, standing poorly, lifting incorrectly, breathing incorrectly, excessive body weight, birthing trauma, lifestyle, stress management, and emotional regulation, disease and injury to the pelvis, to the pelvic floor, to the back, or to the abdomen, and aging and hormonal changes. I hope these videos have been helpful for you, and always, please reach out to me with your questions. Loving the questions. You guys are so fabulous. Check the links below for my social media. Call me for a consultation. If you have more questions that you'd like answered on a private level, I offer free consultations if you'd like to learn more.
Until next time, love yourself, love others, and always give kindness to the world. Bye-bye.